The Unused Subs official home ground is Tyler Street Sport, the home of Auckland FC, from first sip to final cheers. With special thanks to Collinson Forex, leading experts in foreign exchange for over 30 years. And now for this week's episode with Goran Paladin, Jacob Spoonley, Paul Eiffel, and Carlo Armiento from the Wellington Phoenix.
Ifey, Spoon, have you guys managed to recover from what was the most exciting, most combustible New Zealand derby yet?
No. Ifey.
No, I'm the same. You go back to normal life and it's like, this is so boring, eh?
Yeah.
It's 28 seconds and nothing's happened. You wandered around just looking for something to happen, mate. But it had everything, right? Yeah. And I remember Ifey, I got to 9 minutes 30. I think it's just after the Eze goal. And I was like, we've got 80 minutes to go. I'm pretty spent. Yeah.
No, it started and it looked like it could be one of those games that ends 7-4 or 6-3 or something ridiculous. And it did smell like a red card was going to happen because it was so, there was melees, it was het up, it was
so tense, Ifey, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Shall we rip into it though? The weekend review, there's only one game to review and it is the 4th ever New Zealand derby. Wellington Phoenix 1, Auckland FC 2. Incredibly, they come away with all 3 points, having played from the 52nd minute with 10 men and then the last 20 with 9.
Was that how long it was for?
Yes.
Before we dive into it, can I just say, absolutely brilliant. Like we're
So
kind of
good.
getting used to it now, but I think this is the best derby that we've had out of the 4.
Easily.
And I love the fact that Yellow Fever marched, they showed up, they started well before the game. The port comes down, it's loud, there's stuff going on. There's clearly commitment and passion and emotion infused into everything. Just what a privilege to have it between two Kiwi sides.
Yeah, absolutely marvellous. Well, let's get through it all because there were so many flashpoints, so many moments throughout that 100-minute game. Ifey, the 2 highline goals that Auckland FC scored, one to Sam Cosgrove and then one to your boy Jesse Randall. What did you make of the approach from Auckland FC? We knew they were going to try and take advantage and they definitely did.
I think it's one of them, mate, where you know what it's like. You've been in it when you're doing the broadcast and you're talking about this might happen and then 28 seconds in, it's literally drawn up. You give yourself a little pat on the back and then you go, oh, we have to actually talk about this now. But it was, I almost missed it. It happened so quickly. I was settling down to work out what I was doing on the sideline commentary and my earphones weren't there. And then all of a sudden there's a goal and they're asking me what I've seen. And I'm thinking, and then the monitor had blown down in the wind. It was a shit show. So it was a mess. But anyway, you know, it was a perfect snapshot of what we talked about. In that moment, probably for Chiefy, he's thinking, Jesus Christ, guys have been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, and then bang. So for him then for the boys then to dig in and Eze to score that goal, I could see him, he was right in front of me, and it was almost like, when he scored, it was like, fuck you guys, we're back sort of thing. And he was prowling, mate. He had a red ball in his hand, and he was getting on them to press, and every time they lost the ball, it was the counter press, let's go, keeping that line up. And I think if they'd have gone in front, we'd have seen a completely different game. But I think the way they're trying to play, a lot rides on how the game starts, and that is what hindered them.
I thought it was so clever from Steve Corica and Danny Hay. Between the two of them, they've come up with this plan where, look, if we play back initially, play to our back line and then send it forward through Francis de Vries, by playing back, that's going to compress the Wellington Phoenix further up the field, bring them up high, and then the accurate delivery of Francis de Vries will unleash Randall and Cosgrove. And 2 times they did it with great effect. But in between those 2 goals, the highline goals, was an absolute peach from Ifeanyi Eze. It was incredible, and I felt like Michael Veld couldn't have done any better, Spoon.
No, every sinew in Valdi was stretched at that point, and he gets fingertips on it, but still can't keep it out. So I don't think there's anything else that he can do. But the half moment from Eze, and I feel like we're getting a really good glimpse into the kind of player he is. We talked about his runs in the build-up, Ifey. They can come from anywhere. He floats across the front line. Well, apparently, he can score from anywhere as well. But it's a hell of a strike.
Eiffel-esque.
Not with my left. Not from there. Look, I'd have whacked that into the crowd. But look, I like that he scores a variety of goals. I love his movement. I love his work rate. His work rate is unreal, by the way. He's a niggly little player. He doesn't mind leaving a foot in. He'll get a little elbow up. He's pinching and pushing people off the ball. So I think he'll fit in perfectly. Just got to get him chances, get him opportunities. But, you know, he barely had a sniff in the game, and then he latches onto that ball and again, talked about it in the broadcast, but what I love is he gives himself the time between his last touch and the strike. He takes a little look to see where the keeper is. And then, like Spoon said, Valdi's in a good position. So he's then got to decide, well, where can I go? And the only place he could go is where he actually put it. You're talking an inch down. Valdi gets a finger on that, and it's over the bar. It was absolutely unreal. What a finish.
Because of the way he hits it, it's almost like Valdi's got to defend more than the goal. And what I mean by that is it's curling back in towards the post. And at the point it goes past Valdi, I'm pretty sure it's almost outside the post at that point. So Valdi has got so much to do and speaks to the quality of the hit.
The red card to Dan Hall in the 52nd minute, Ifey. He's adjudged to have brought down Corbin Piper, the agitator, the footballer that is Corbin Piper. He went on the field and he did exactly what Chiefy set him out to do. But was it worthy and was it right to have awarded a red card because Francis de Vries was in close proximity to the action, as well as a potential handball further up the field, which Steve Corica told you guys about in the post-game?
It was definitely handball, in my opinion. That's been, you know, they've talked about that, so it should have been stopped there. If you take that away, which that obviously did, VAR didn't look at it, then you look at the next part. I think the first contact is okay. I think the second contact is questionable, and I think the last contact is the foul where he runs across him and Hall can't actually get out of the way. Tangle of feet, yes, it's a red. I argued on the day that Franny was round, but Franny only gets round in time because of the 3 contacts, and I think 2 of them were illegal. So it kind of is a moot point, and that's easy to say now, you know, hours after the broadcast. Probably should have brought that out on the weekend, but when I've
saving it for the unused subs, mate. Saving it for the unused subs. I like it.
There was a lot going on, and the referee's got to make a snap decision. I do think he made the right decision, just about.
The other thing I think has worked against Dan Hall in all of this is he gets beaten on halfway, and everyone in the stadium knows that he's running down Corbin Piper. So he has to be absolutely perfect in the moment. Anything short of that, and you get the sense that the referee and the emotion and everything like that is going to influence the decision. But I think Ife's provided a great summary there.
The potential for a handball, Nando Pijnaker inside the penalty area. He's gone with it. I think they got Snicko out, and it was adjudged to have come just marginally off his forehead. But that left arm was in a really interesting position, Spoon.
To give people an insight, we're up in the commentary box. We've each got our own screen. There's a whole bunch of buttons like there is here. We can talk to the director. We've got a stats thing in the middle. And then now, for this season, we've got what's called verdict. So we can see where VAR is intervening.
Okay.
The game's going to be paused. I think it goes yellow, and it tells you what they're looking at. And then it comes back green or red, I think, with the decision that's ultimately made. So it's quite a cool way for us to understand what they're looking at in the bunker. And we couldn't see the decision that had been made. And then Kingsley, the producer, got in my ear and said, they have said that the initial contact was made with the head.
So it's skimmed off.
And I remember just kind of sitting there and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then we kept looking back at it, and I'll be honest, it's quite difficult to talk and then try and make an assessment at the same time. I could not see contact with the head.
Yeah, neither could I. What about you, Ifey?
Yeah, just on that, Twitter comes to the rescue as it normally does. And one of the Auckland FC guys had a completely different angle, and it goes arm, face. It should have been a handball.
So it could have completely changed the complexion of that game at that point. I'm assuming it's Eze.
This game is going like this. It's
absolutely mental, mate. And this is why we're still raving about it a couple of days afterwards, because it was a sensational derby. What a wonderful game it was. But yeah, at that point, if a penalty is awarded, and Eze or whoever, maybe Alex Rufus steps up, I don't know.
Yeah,
who steps up for the Wellington Phoenix to slot home a penalty? It goes to 2-2, and then you've got, 40 minutes to try and find a winner, and for Auckland FC to defend a point. Yeah, who knows what might have happened. But the red card occurs to Logan Rogerson in the last, 10 minutes of regulation time, Ifey. I don't know if he could have too many issues about that, going over the top of the ball and sconning Lucas Kelly-Heald just underneath the kneecap. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, look, he tried to get after his bad first touch. That'll be what will probably disappoint him most. If he gets his touch right, we're not even having these conversations. He's still on the pitch, and he might
Yeah.
have gone on to do really well. But he tries to get after it. But I think as he goes to take off, he also slips. So now he's kind of not really in control of his body. And I think where his studs end up is certainly not where he tried to, because he misses the ball. But if he's studs are down, he actually plays the ball. And then he might get done for what he does afterwards. But he misses the ball by a mile. Like, it looks horrific, but he's not that kind of guy. He's not that sort of player. So that is not going to help him historically with the refereeing in the moment. But I knew straight away. I was like, oh my God, there's no malice in that, the poor fella. And then, but there was nothing they could do. There was enough contact, and he had to go. And Corica, rightly so, said afterwards, look, it was a red by the letter of the law.
I feel sorry for Logan in a lot of respects.
I think we all do, don't we?
He's not starting. He was starting. Massive contribution last year. So I think he's coming into the game with that kind of point to prove, that kind of the weight of it, I suppose. And then he's in a situation where you can quite clearly see he's wanting to vent the pressure. The Phoenix has started pinning Auckland back. He's trying to dribble it out, get a free kick, do something, give them respite. And to Ife's point, the touch just gets away from him. There's desperation in it, and unfortunately, the slip combined with that, it means that there's nasty contact with Lucas Kelly-Heald. And look, let's also acknowledge the fact that Lucas is okay.
Yeah,
he's
great. Fine. Yeah, but let's talk about some players that really performed with aplomb. Jesse Randall.
Oh, I don't know. No, he's already taken royalties on Randall in the weekend,
Okay,
and now you're going to give him.
Wait.
Hang on.
I had a phone call from Matt Calcott, who's my general manager at Olympic,
telling you to rein it in a little bit. Good.
Yeah, because Matt had him in his academy. Matt had him in his academy for years, and he should be the guy getting all the credit. But because I coached him for a couple of months at Olympic, I keep getting all the credit, and I'm thinking, I'm like, nah, nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me. So a big shout out to Matt Calcott, got Jesse to where he is.
Yeah,
I didn't even really put any polish on it. He did what he did for us. He was great for us. But I think Auckland have taken him to the next level. But me and Matt both agreed this morning. There's more to come. Like,
okay, what is it then, Ifey? What's to come? What have you
seen? Confidence. Jesse's a proper introvert. He's one of the nicest guys around. He just wants to get better. He'll do anything he can to get better. Real good work ethic. But it just takes him a little bit of time to feel comfortable and confident in his environment. And I think you could see flashes of what he could do last year. And I know Matt had been into him about being more direct. I saw him last year, and I think it was, can't remember what game it was. I was doing one up in Auckland, and I just pulled him afterwards, and I said, mate, start showing people what you can do. Like, take some risks, be brave, be direct. And Matt was saying the same things to him. So, probably a couple of people that he trusts, away from the game were giving him the similar information. And I'm not saying this to anything down to us, but like I said, Auckland have now seen what he can do in the pre-season. He's forced his way in. So he's probably feeling good about himself and the performance at the weekend. Like, honestly, there's still more to come. What we're seeing now does not surprise me a bit. He's got more, the ceiling's way higher than this. He could end up being Auckland's best. He's that good.
Well, look,
he's fantastic.
If he wasn't the performance of the weekend, then it must go to Callan Elliott, who's another guy that came through the Paul Eiffel School of Finishing.
I can take a little bit more credit for this.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Go on.
A tiny little bit more.
When you look at his opportunity, it's been limited, right? He's behind Hiroki Sakai, the Auckland captain. We all know what he's done in the game. But with his injury, with his hamstring injury, Callan gets a chance against his old team. And when their back's against the wall and they're down to 9 men, he's defending like a Trojan. Carlo Armiento, who's going to join the Unused Subs, those guys were going up against each other. Callan was enormous. I know he's only diminutive in stature, but he was a giant that night, Spoon.
He was, and I think this is perhaps an underappreciated part of the performance on the weekend, that Callan has been behind Hiroki Sakai, but it doesn't seem to have deterred him. Perhaps has leaned into it, tried to learn a little bit more about the position from somebody that's played at the highest level. If that is the case, great, because that's exactly what you want from your foreign players, to bring in that IP, to infuse the knowledge, all that good stuff. But we know Callan, for his attacking, his delivery, it's great. And it's something that we've referred to. How can they bring Cosgrove into the game? DeFries, Elliott.
But the defensive side of things.
The defensive side of things. And look at the celebration, Ifey. The celebration after he hits it.
When he nods over Alex Rufus' shot.
Perhaps denied Michael
like
Valda's save. Like Valdy's thinking maybe, that was my big moment. But Callan Elliott's jumped up, and off the back of it, he knows how big that moment is, because that's 2-1. And if Rufus shot's on target, it's a chance for a goal. But he has almost given the team that emotional lift, both with the chance, but then also with the celebration, I feel.
Oh, you could see it on his face at the time, and you see his relief and joy after the game. I caught up with him and his parents after the game, and it was class. And talking about old times, etc., etc. But just going back to the game, I think he's 26 now, and I think the problem is we see him as a youngster still, and he's kind of not. So yes, don't get me wrong, he'll learn from Sakai, but he wants to play. He wants to play. He wants to play every single week, and he's getting an opportunity now to show people what he can do. And I think he would start in most other A-League sides. So he's in a position where, yes, he's fortunate, but also he's unlucky. So I think he's got to use this to the best of his advantage and make sure that they're looking at it and going, right, okay, yeah, we know what Sakai can do, but we've got one here that needs to play too. So how do we look after both?
Just to finish this before we bring in Carlo, some big picture thinking, if you like. Auckland are undefeated in the derby, which will rile the Wellington Phoenix. And when you look at the Knicks, Ify, and their attacking approach, especially to the last 50 minutes of that game at the weekend, where did Chiefy possibly get it wrong against a very deep Auckland block? What could he have done differently to alter the result that night?
Again, I keep going back to the broadcast, but Corica spoke on there and he said we were happy to go nice and compact and narrow and allow crosses to come into the box. And clearly that worked. Now, there was a lot of ball down the right-hand side. I think Luke Brooks-Smith getting in his position. Luke Brooks-Smith is great when there's space in front of him, when he can bundle through people and use his power. And he's not going to be the guy that's going to unlock a defence or whip a great crossing just yet. That's just not his game. The guy on the other side, who we're going to get on in a minute, Carlo Armiento, is all of that and more. I personally think, why were the players, forget the coach for a minute, why are the players not going, give him the ball? And if we can get him the ball in and around the box, as soon as he starts driving towards the box, somebody has to step out. Now, the opportunities for cutbacks, the opportunities for penalties, the opportunities to stand the ball up to the back post, they all become apparent if you can isolate somebody in the wide area that is experienced, knows what they're doing, is in form. And Armiento has all that. Look, it's really, really difficult because you're trying to get messages on as a coach. It's the loudest derby, for years. How do you get those messages on? The game's going on. The senior players are trying to run the show. It's hard. It's really hard. And you don't practice playing 11v9. And
yeah, it's a really good point.
I was thinking about this. Well, I was thinking about this morning. How many I've played? I think we worked out. I've played about 650, 700 games at sort of Central League level and above, all the way to the Prem. And I've played against 9 men twice in that time. Played or coached against 9 men twice.
It's so awkward, Ify, isn't it?
It is. Well, you're expected to win, but the team that have got 9 have nothing to lose. All they're going to do is dig in and be compact and say, give us what you've got.
It becomes so simple for Auckland. And I think Steve...
Because they had the lead.
They had the lead, and all they needed to do was defend the castle. That was it. That's the whole mindset. The game became a lot simpler for them. For Wellington... they were 3-0 down in the derby. This is their chance. And the other thing that I was reflecting off the back of that is that I'm looking at that from Chiefy's perspective and thinking, we've lost late in the first derby. We went up to Auckland. We had the 10-minute period. We were 2-0 down. We got back into the game 2-1. We had the 6-1 game where they got dismantled. And now they're up against 9 men. The mental block here, I hope this doesn't happen because we've got the derby coming up. The mental block is we've lost in different ways.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the thing that I don't want that to become a gut punch because the Phoenix, they talked about a lot in the pre-match that they got beaten in the second 2 derbies because of the first. And I really hope that that's not the case now, that the emotion of it has just drained them so much.
All right, well, let's bring in someone who was right in the thick of the action now. Wellington Phoenix winger Carlo Armiento joins us. First of all, give us your reaction to the derby as a whole, what it was like in Wellington City, what it was like in the ground, with the crowd going absolutely berserk, and then the game itself, mate. And thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Wes, for having me. Yeah, it was an interesting week. I think waking up in the morning, going for a walk just before the game. It's probably the first time I've been here probably a while now, and just to see Wellington shirts and Auckland shirts. So yeah, in the mornings there's a bit of a buzz in the city. It was a nice day. And then obviously the result wasn't the best result for us, but the ground inside the stadium, good atmosphere. Felt like a proper football game. And yeah, probably on our end, it was a bit frustrating because the goals could be conceded and then having 2 men sent off or playing with 10 men from probably the whole second half and we couldn't break them down. But they defended well, full credit to them. But I think it just gives us more motivation for the game in a month's time. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it already.
I had a quick look online, mate. You were involved in the original rivalry, which is Adelaide against Melbourne Victory. But Perth doesn't really have a derby. Brisbane doesn't have a derby.
They got a long distance derby.
There's not many away fans for that,
No.
Carlo. You talked about the buzz in the city, but what was it like being involved in the moment? And I mean that by the warm-ups, the extra media, the tension, the excitement in it, mate. What heightens a derby for you?
Yeah, well, I actually made my debut for Adelaide in the original rivalry away against Melbourne. So that was pretty special for me, but I think this one topped it. I think there's a little bit more like on stake, the fans, I think maybe because it's new to the league and you could just see the support from Auckland, the passion they came over, brought a massive crowd. And then obviously our crowd, like it probably wasn't the best season for them last year, but they've still come out and to support us this year. And it was loud. It was like I said before, felt like a proper football match. Like I've said, I played in obviously other games and there's probably a few thousand, but this was a proper football match. So for the game and for the league especially, I think this is the benchmark.
What's it like coming up against 9 men? Because it's incredibly different from what was a very open, competitive game up until then. Does it get awkward?
Yeah, I was actually speaking to Elliot on the field and I was like, it literally feels like FIFA because they've just gone ultra defensive and we're all out attack. It was a bit awkward because, as you know, they're a good side defensively as it is with 11 players. And then you put 9 men on the pitch and obviously they don't need to attack. They're winning 2-1, which is fair enough. And they're sitting in the box. And I think you could see they defended really well. And then probably we've got the panic stations maybe at the end. We probably should have stayed a little bit calmer, played a bit more short around the box, and then it becomes a massive fight. And full credit to them. They defended well, and people say they sat in, but they couldn't do that. They were 2-1 up. So, yeah, I think it's a learning curve for us to be more patient, and we probably could have used the ball a bit better. But like I said, it was a weird situation to be in.
It's probably one of them as a coach. I reckon Chiefy will have this happen once or twice more in his whole career. If he goes on to play, coach 500 games, you don't train for this. It's not normal. So in saying that, was he able to get anything across to the players, or was it just going on the moment and people like Ruth were just going, right, no, this is what needs to happen, and it just goes through the team, or is there something that you can take from the side and he's trying to get his instruction on?
Yeah, there was a little bit coming from the side. They were telling us the cutbacks on, because they're obviously defending so deep. But you tell 1 or 2 boys that it doesn't get through to the whole team. Even myself watching the game back, we had a lot of set pieces. And maybe looking back now, we could have gone short, drawn a couple of plays out, and obviously played to the cutback because they're good in the air. But like you said, you're in the moment. You're not thinking clear. You need that goal. You're thinking about the goal. So yeah, like you said, it happens once in 100, maybe 1,000 games. That situation, 9 men. But it's a good learning curve, and if it happens again, hopefully we learn from it. You've seen all our games so far. We've gone through everything. We've gone down 2-0 to Perth. We've come back. We've gone down 1-0 to Brisbane. We've come back. I think it just shows the character of a group. Probably last year, maybe, they would have rolled over. Possibly 2-0 down at Perth. It could have turned into something else. 1-0 down after 30 seconds. It could have turned into something else. So I think the character in this group is there. Maybe a few lapses and concentrations with our highline, which is new to us, and we're learning slowly. So I think it's positive signs. But once we get everything right, I'm sure it will click.
You talked about the character of the group, and I think when you're playing what you would call a risky new formation, you're trying to learn it, that's so important, because I think if you go further on into the season and you're not quite getting it right, then the players start to question the coach, etc., etc. You've been there, you probably know that. How far away do you feel you are as a group to absolutely nailing it?
Yeah, good question, because like you said, we could have Perth away, even this game, after 20 seconds, we could have said, fuck that, we're dropping. It's simple. We're dropping.
Revolt.
We're not staying at half.
Yeah, field revolt.
This is
Carlo.
not working.
Yeah. We could have said, fuck that, we're dropping to the box. But I think it shows the belief we have in the highline and the belief that Chiefy's shown us. So yeah, I think we're close. I think getting James back in the coming weeks, even Painey helps. It's a lot of experience. You put those 2 boys in there, it's massive, especially for a squad like us. We're not a big squad. Like you see Auckland today, they're bringing on all whites, they're bringing on quality. For us, we haven't got the biggest squad. So boys like that, it's a massive out for us, especially in the back line when we're playing this high line. A little bit of experience. Who knows? They played, we maybe not caught those 2 goals, and maybe we score first and it's a different game. So I think, everyone's talking about it, obviously, this high line, and they're not a big fan of it, but I'm sure in the future it's going to work out, and then they're going to be fans of it.
One of my favourite moments in New Zealand football history is when the All Whites played Mexico, and Michael Boxall went in on one of the Mexican guys, and an all-in melee erupted, and Michael McGlinchey got shoved about 500 metres west by a Mexican
sent the short
player,
fellas in first,
Costa Barbarouses. Yeah, Costa Barbarouses is acting like a tough guy. And we saw a melee, Wellington Phoenix versus Auckland FC in the first derby of the new season, and I was all for it. Your role in the melee, I saw you sort of edging closer to the action because obviously you're at the top end of the field, Carlo. There was a massive bump of bodies between Michael Vowd, the Auckland goalkeeper, and Corbin Piper, your makeshift striker. Is that the sort of thing that you really like to get involved in, or are you a peacemaker?
No, I'm the peacemaker. I just didn't want to. Corbin wanted to kill someone. Yeah. I just had to go calm him down. But Corbin loves that stuff. I think it's good for the game. You take that stuff away from the game, I think it ruins the game. Like, it's good. The fans love it. But like I said, I just went in there to go calm big Corbs down because I'm sure he would have kept on going.
Let's zoom out a little bit, move away from the derby, because we've been talking about how resilient you guys have been and how you've had to move through things. Let's look at the highlights though, Carlo. And I think it could easily be referred to as the Ifeanyi end in front of Yellow Fever, but against one of your former employers, you score in the 97th minute. And maybe we need to reframe it as Carlo's corner now, because that's a hell of a strike, mate. And you've introduced yourself really well to the Wellington Phoenix. Does it feel like it's fitting, I suppose, is the question, mate, because you have come up with returns early?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Like I've said to many people, I'm just loving my time here at the moment. I think Chiefy's put real belief in me, and I've had a little bit of a position change, probably not used to defending as much, but I'm enjoying it. And I think the way we play, I have a lot of space and time out there, and I think with my left foot I can do a lot more what I've done so far. So like I said, it's just every game, every training at a time, and I'm loving it. And I think Ifey, that's still your corner.
Listen, I hope by the end of the season we're calling it that, because that means that you've done something special and the club's done something special. I think it's been a while. Obviously a couple of seasons ago it was great, but I think we need to be back to that. That should be the norm. We should be pushing with Auckland, and it should be, the Kiwis against Australia. That's always what it's been with the Phoenix. It was us against the world, you know what I mean? And we're never going to be friendly with Auckland, and I don't expect you to be, by the way. But it'd be nice if you're battling it up the top, top 2 or 3, and we could get a home final. That would be something to dream about, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be special, because the crowd on the weekend, it was big and loud, but that packed out would be something else. And like you said, I'm an Aussie as well, but show the Aussies how it's done.
Well, one more home derby, G. 2 in Wellington this season. Auckland's obviously got the 6th of December. I don't even know when the third derby's coming, Carlo, but right.
The third derby should be on Waitangi Day, and we need to talk to the A-League paymasters to make sure that that's an annual fixture, right, on Waitangi Day.
It makes sense.
You're the one closest to it. You could make it happen. While we're talking about highlights, though, and positive moments, a real positive, Carlo, is the fact that you're playing football at all.
Yes.
Because March 14, 2024, you're diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And for anybody who wants to see you tell your story in short, head to the Wellington Phoenix YouTube page, and you can see Carlo reveal all there, complete with photos and vision going behind the scenes inside the hospitals as you're receiving treatment. What was it that for right here, right now, you wanted to tell your story?
Yeah, I think I said it in this the video, the story that Wellington released. I had a promo. I probably arrived. It was probably my 3rd week here, and I had a promo, and the media lady came up to me and was like, "Oh, are you free?" I was like, "Yeah." "What's up?" And she's like, "Oh, the Cancer Society, New Zealand, they have to do a promo." I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy to do it." In the back of my mind, I'm like, do these people know that I've been diagnosed? Like, what's going on here? I was shocked, because I haven't told anyone at this point. I only told my close friends and family. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. So we went over there, and they were talking how 1 in 3 New Zealand's get diagnosed with cancer, and then I was answering all these questions, and at the end, I just like I felt guilty, and I like felt really guilty not saying anything because like they were telling all these stories about all these negative things, and I'm like, yeah, well, I've been through it, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And then after that, I probably had a chat with Chiefy. I told him first because I probably didn't really want to tell anyone else, so I told Chiefy, and then I spoke to the media team, and yeah, we put a plan together to come out and tell my story because I think it was really important. And yeah, the reception I've had after telling the story, I'm still replying to people on my phone now. Just even people who have cancer or have been diagnosed with cancer or suffering now or even recovered. It's been pretty cool the last couple days.
Just 2 points that stood out to me there, G. One is you felt guilty. And I'm really interested in that, Carlo, because I've got nothing but admiration, and I think it's great that you've come out and told your story, but to the point, like, it's very private information, and there's no reason for you to have to go public with it. So what was the kind of the roots of the guilt?
Yeah, it was more that, like, they're telling us all these stories about people suffering and it's the end of the world and they're going through a hard time and like pretty much life's ending. But for me, I've been there and I know what they're thinking. So if they hear even a little part of my story and it helps them 1%, 10%, 100% to get through their treatment, that I'm happy. Because I know in that room, like I said in the video, in that chemo room, it's not a nice place. It's probably, it's probably the worst place I've been in life. And for me to get out and, like you said, come out, have fun, play what I want to do, I think it means a lot for me to tell the story because Smith on the side of the road who has this, and then he looks at me, but Carlo's been through it, why can't I go through it? So that's the story I wanted to tell, and that's the message I wanted to get across. And I think so far I had a few messages, and I think I got my message across, and I'm grateful that I've come out, and even if I help one person, that's what I wanted to do.
The second part of that is we often seek out the thing that we wanted, and what I heard from you there is light at the end of the tunnel. Is that something that you felt you needed or wanted as part of this process, especially in that initial stage after the diagnosis?
Yeah, well, honestly, I didn't know if I was going to play football again because I was off contract at the same time. And I think that was also stressful. So yeah, I was at Brisbane at the time and I was off contract. So at the time, I got through my treatment, or I knew my treatment was going well and I knew I was going to be probably in remission. The second thought I had, fuck, my football career. Like, what's going on? I'm not stupid. I haven't played for probably 4 months. I'm off contract. Who's going to sign me? It's not like I'm Messi and I was scoring 10 goals, like assists. I was just a 24-year-old guy playing the A-League. So I knew that I was probably in trouble. So that's what probably was the more stressful part because obviously I was released from Brisbane. And then lucky enough, I think everything just happens for a reason. I got a call from an Italian agent to go over there. And yeah, like I just said yes and I had nothing to lose and I went over there and it was a crazy experience, not gonna lie. It was a really crazy experience. They probably still owe me 6 months' salary. But
Right, look, if you put a plea out right here, right now, Carlo, we can edit it up and put it out on Instagram and we'll make sure you get that money, eh?
Nah, that money's coming. That's going through all the PFA now.
Don't worry about
good.
that.
Yeah, you're sorting it out, eh?
No, Ange Collins, I imagine, Carlo, one of the best in the business,
onto
mate.
that.
Yeah.
But I think
Very
that's just
good.
part of the story. Like, I've gone over there as well. Not many people probably know that as well. I've gone over there. It was an unbelievable time, but yeah, Italy's a different place. It's presidents run the show over there. And then, I think it was just the perfect time to come back because I got away from everything. And like I said, no one knew. Like, even Lockie Brook, he was one of my best mates. Back in Adelaide, we played together through Adelaide United Youth Team, Adelaide. And I've come out and told my story, and he's messaged me week of the derby, like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, all good. Like, but yeah, I just kept it personal because I didn't want it about myself. I didn't want to come out a year ago and say, fuck, I got cancer. Everyone feels sorry for me. I didn't want it like that. The only reason I came out was literally because of this promo. And I just wanted to help people.
You've gained an incredibly unique perspective now on life and on football because previous to this, you were probably like every other professional football, stressing about the little things, and now maybe you don't sweat the small stuff so much. What has this whole experience done for your approach and your mindset, Carlo?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Before that, I was that person. I would stress about a bad game. I would stress about a training session, or I've got dropped. But now it just changes everything. Because like I said, sitting in that chemo room, you realize, wow, life, there's the other side of life. So yeah, even on the weekend, like we lost the derby, we're pretty down. Like, don't get me wrong, I was pissed off and I was angry probably after the game, but you move on quickly because at the end of the day, it's just a football game. Like, don't get me wrong, I still get angry. I'm still disappointed if I have a bad game, but I don't dwell on it like I used to. It's probably an hour or a day and then it's done because there's other things to life. So yeah, but like I said, it's helping me dramatically on the pitch. Like, I'm having fun. I think it's the most I probably played consistently in terms of like, that was probably my fourth 90 minutes in a row. And like, you can't say I'm not fitter because I'm 100% fitter. So like, I've gone through all of that and I've come out fitter. So I think that's also the message I wanted to come across as well. Like, you think you go through all that and you can't even run, but on my hand, I'm playing 90 minutes with no problems now. And before that, I could get to 70 minutes max and I'd cramp. I'd get the pickle juice out.
As somebody who is not a professional athlete and has never, ever been one, pickle juice, I see it all the time, whether it's football, rugby league, rugby. How bad does it taste? Because as soon as it goes to the lips, it's out again.
Mate, I'm just going to jump in here because I'm a bit older than Carlo. Pickle juice has saved me. A number of times. I use it now. I'm 46. I'm still playing. I can't. It doesn't matter what it tastes like because it is an instant win.
It's drinking it
like,
daily.
It's like he'll probably tell you that it's like magic. Like, no, I'm not even joking.
David Copperfield invented
you're
this
cramping.
Stuff.
One sip, you're back. It's wild. It's so good.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Like I said, it used to get me from 60 minutes to 70 minutes.
There you go. There you go. Hey, 10 minutes. You can do a lot in 10 minutes.
Hey, massive.
So let's talk about Brisbane, Perth. Incredibly hot. A-League plays through the summer. So you're and also explain
That's
to people.
why he's moved to Wellington.
Yeah, good point, Carlo. But so is it come in sachets, Carlo, or do they literally like siphon out some pickle juice from like a gherkin jar or something like that, mate? Like, because I've never had it. Like, I've never had it. So how do you? No, I'm learning now. Carlo, how do you take in your pickle juice?
It's like a shot. It's like a little bottle, probably, that big. It's just put it in your mouth, swirl it around, you spit it out. And like Ifey said, it's magical.
This shows where he is and where I'm at. He does it the proper way. He's got the proper little bottle, the little shot. I buy the gherkins, drain it myself, and put it in a little plastic bottle.
I'll get you some from training, Ifey. I'll give you some.
Ifey's on the low rent pickle juice.
I'll take you up on that.
Next game, I'll get you some. I got a stash at training.
You got a guy, Carlo.
And then done.
Carlo has a guy for you, Ifey. I love that.
Man. If I can just bring us back.
Did not see it going this way.
Yeah, no, neither did I. But look, on a serious note, you mentioned the chemo room and the things that you saw in there, the doctors, the nurses, the patients more specifically. What were some of the conversations that will live with you for a lifetime?
Yeah, I think the first ever conversation sticks out to me the most. I think I walked in there and I sat down obviously on it's like a recliner chair. And there was this lady next to me, and probably the first 2 minutes was just awkward silence. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing in here? I was just thinking, it wasn't a nice thought. And then, I obviously broke the ice and I was like, oh, I'm Carlo, nice to meet you. Because she obviously was starting at the same time. It's a long 5 hours. And then she obviously asked what type of cancer I had. And I asked her what type of cancer she had. And I asked like, how long have you been doing this for? And she goes, I've been doing it for 3 months, but I've only got a month left. I was like, oh, okay. And then you're in remission. And then she goes, oh, nah, they're telling me I've only got probably 3 weeks to live.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, fuck, I didn't even know what to say. Like, you're so awkward. And then I didn't say anything. And then I was just thinking, it puts doubt into yourself because I've just started. And the doctors have told me, I've got a 90% chance of living. But you hear that on the left of you and you're like, fuck, hopefully everything's all right. So, that was probably one of the hardest conversations to have. And then there was just, every other conversation is pretty similar. Like, what are you doing? How long have you been here for? Shit, you're 24. You shouldn't be here. I'm 87. It's just a hard place to communicate to people, because at the end of the day, they're there for the wrong reason. And some people are probably sensitive. Some people want to talk. So I think the next time I went in, I just, as rude as this probably sounds, I didn't really want to talk to anyone, because like I just wanted to go in there, go and do my 5 hours and go out. So I put my headphones in and just listen to podcasts, try to listen to positive podcasts, because you don't want to get into that negative mindset. And that first conversation I had was pretty hard. But it's not a nice place.
Just on that, when you were first diagnosed, was there a short time where you were like, why me? What have I done to deserve this kind of? And how quickly did you snap out of that and go, right, I'm on the positive mindset sort of path to get myself right?
Yeah, 100%. At the start, I was asking, what have I done? I'm healthy. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. You got other people on the other side of the world smoking, doing drugs, doing that, and they're living a normal life. Like, why me? And you probably have those dark thoughts like, why do I deserve this? And then after, I think when I got to Adelaide, after I went through all the testing in Brisbane, I think that's when my mentality just snapped and changed. I had a good chat with the doctor. He said, you can run, you can exercise, you can kick a ball. You probably first 3 days after chemo, you won't probably feel like doing much. And then after that, until your next 2 weeks chemo treatment, you can do whatever you want. Just be careful of, obviously, your immune system. And I think when I got told that, and he told me the success rate, obviously, for the treatment, I think my mentality shifted straight away. I think my mentality was, how fit can I get quick? How quick can I get fit to play football again? Because that's all I was thinking. As bad as it sounds, all I was thinking, I just want to play football again. And at the time, I didn't even know if I was going to play football. I just wanted to be ready. So if I had an opportunity, I was there and I could take it.
I've got a question on that, and I'll take myself back to being a young man in the Millwall dressing room, and Neil Harris, who went on to coach the club. He's the record goal scorer of the club, and he had testicular cancer. And I remember him coming in and telling the boys, and he had to take such a long time away from the game. And I remember he came back in, and because he'd stayed at the same club, he was so far away. The year before he'd scored 28 goals, and he was just miles off as a player. And he ended up having to leave when I think he ended up going to Forest for a couple of years, and then came back, and he ended up being brilliant again. But I think he kind of needed that time to go away and kind of find himself again. I remember speaking to him, and he was saying, I just didn't have the touch. I didn't feel fit. So it's interesting that you're saying you feel fitter now. So I just wondered, was there a lull? Was there a time where you were like, oh, am I ever going to feel the same way again? But it sounds like you've actually gone beyond that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I've been through a lot. Like, I've done 2 knees as well. So I know what it takes to go through the hard yards to come back. So after probably my last knee, I felt even better. So I used that motivation. I was like, shit, I've done it twice. What's this? I can do it again. And I think, honestly, doing my knee was harder than going through this. This was drilling. Like, this is stressful at the start, but it was 3 months of my life. A knee's 12 months. Missing football for 12 months. This was 3 months. So I knew that if I can get through 2 ACL rehabs, I can get through that. I think that's why my mindset was so strong, because I've obviously been through a lot. And I just knew that once I got through into remission, I could get through it.
Well, Carlo, on behalf of the 3 of us, mate, congratulations for sharing your story, for coming through the other side, and not only doing that, becoming a professional footballer again and carving up for the Wellington Phoenix, mate. You've done absolutely brilliantly, and our collective hat is off to you, mate. Well done.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now, hopefully Jacob Spoonley teed you up. One thing that we do on the Unused Subs, you mentioned this to him?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well prepared. He's got a long runway.
We do 4Xs with Collinson 4X. We need the 4 players that you've played with and against that would constitute your 5-a-side team. You are player, coach, captain. Who do you have around you, Mr. Armiento?
In goals, I'd probably go with Brad Jones.
Ooh. I mean, we don't need a goolkeeper.
No,
this is what we say every week.
Yeah, no, ignore it.
Oh, you don't need a goalkeeper?
Don't take that attitude.
Hey, I'm a wing back now. I'll look after the defence.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Sturridge, Daniel Sturridge.
It's a pretty good team so far,
Oh,
mate.
out at Perth.
Yeah, out at Perth. He was a character. Castro at Perth. He was probably one of the
Yes.
best trainers.
Yes,
he was
mate.
incredible. And I think I'd have to go with my mate, Fornaroli. If I don't put him in there, he'll probably give me a slap. But yeah, Bruno was massive for me. Growing up at Perth as a young kid, he was phenomenal, especially as the type of player I was probably more at Perth. I was probably an inverted winger. And yeah, he was incredible to learn off.
Bruno, speaking of Bruno, Carlo, so every time I got on the phone with Bruno, it would be for about a minimum 30 minutes. He's such a character, and he just talks, and he's great, mate.
How much would you say?
Yeah, probably like 10%. But he's such a character, and I think he probably in some ways undervalued what he brings to the league. Would you agree?
Yeah. With Bruno, I think he's more than just a foreigner. Like when I walked into that first training room, I was like, "Fuck, this guy's not going to talk to me. Like he's too big for me." But honestly, we got so close. He was incredible. Like you said, he's undervalued. I think off the pitch, he's probably more valued for me because he's such a nice guy. Like, obviously, I have my partner in Perth. He'd invite us over for a barbecue. I'm like, wow, this guy's super, super nice. And like to this day, we speak probably every once a week at least. Just reply to each other on Instagram and joke around. He's like, his name is Big Idiot. So yeah, he's just honestly, what a character, what a guy.
What about Daniel Sturridge?
Yeah.
Me and Ife, you're not a Liverpool fan, are you? But myself and Jacob are.
Ife's a Neil Warnock fan, mate. So
yeah,
There
it was
we
just
are.
unfortunate that we didn't see a lot of Daniel Sturridge in the A-League. What was it like having the opportunity to play and train with a guy that was right at the top of the football world in the Premier League?
Yeah, I'm a massive Liverpool fan.
Good boy.
Good
boy.
Yes. You're welcome back anytime, Carlo.
yeah, not a good day for it, Carlo, but good boy nonetheless.
Yeah.
So yeah, when he walked in, I was like, wow, like he's a big dog. Like there's Bruno, but there's this guy. And yeah, it was interesting because, like you said, his body obviously he couldn't get going. But I remember one training session. I don't know. He must have had a good sleep, or he was unbelievable. Like him and Bruno, it was honestly crazy. But yeah, I think it was just unfortunate for him. I think it's different, obviously. You know what it's like playing overseas. It's obviously softer grounds, cooler. And you come to Perth, they're probably the hottest place in Australia. The grounds are fucking like concrete. And I think his body just...
I forgot conned, mate. I forgot conned coming over here. He thought Wellington was very different.
But yeah, like, unfortunately, it probably didn't work out for him. But off the field, he's a good guy. He embraced it. He did, team nights out. He took the team out for dinners. He was a good guy. It was just, unfortunately, he couldn't get his body right.
So I'm surprised you didn't start with the goalkeeper, because we don't have many goalkeepers in our 4Xs, and it's Brad Jones as well.
Well, the one player that we haven't mentioned is Diego Castro. So I didn't have much to do with Sturridge whilst I was in Australia, but I had a little bit with Bruno and Diego. But Diego, again, mate, like the quality of the guy, perhaps undervalued in A-League circles. Like I know that he was initially really well revered in the league, but even in his more senior years, mate, he could dictate a game.
Oh, he was incredible. Like, even at training, like a 5v5, he literally just roll him the ball and you just run and he'll find you. But like you said, as well as Bruno, like off the pitch, they're just like little kids. They're like, I think that's why they're so loved. Like all the young boys got around them. Like we had in Asian Champions League, we had our hub in Qatar. Yeah, Qatar, I'm pretty sure. And it was 2v2, Diego and Bruno onto the young kids, table tennis, Diego and Bruno onto the young kids. So I think that's the part I take from them. They give so much and they're willing to help anyone. And I think with some other foreigners, they come to the league and they're like, fuck, I'm too good for this. And they don't embrace it. I think these two, their quality's up here, but their personality's up here as well, because they've come to the league and they want to help everyone. And I think that's a massive part. Like you said, Spoonie, they're just such great guys.
We want to thank you for coming on today. Obviously, what you've said is incredibly personal. It's your day off as well, so we really do appreciate this, mate. With all that in mind, mate, we think it is only appropriate and a very small token, but we're going to make a contribution to a charity of your choice because of this, mate. So would you like to nominate that particular charity?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm here for you guys anytime. Like I said, I'm more than happy to help. Yeah, I think I was speaking to you about it. I think I'm just going to choose the Cancer Society New Zealand, because I think that's where it started. if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have come out with this story. So yeah, I think the message they said to us was 1 in 3 New Zealanders get diagnosed with cancer. So I think if $1, $2, $3, $100, $200 can help them, I'm more than happy to help in any way.
Paul, and you're okay to donate that on behalf of everybody here, right?
Right, I'm in. Let me go. Let's go. Like I said,
Good man.
I know we're taking the piss. No, but just quickly from me, I said it on the broadcast at the weekend. Like, I had a lot of time for you as a player. I thought you were a fantastic player, great signing for the club. But like the way you've spoken today, the way you've spoken, and just bringing people in, like, that's not easy. That's not easy at all. It's a really private thing, and I love the way you've switched it up. And it's like, if you can just help somebody out there will be battling, and it might just make them feel a little bit better, even if it's for one minute with their day. So that's really cool. So I will actually, whatever you guys decide to donate, let me know, and I'll back it up.
Beautiful, mate.
Top man.
Thanks,
Paul.
Ify.
Hey, just
Appreciate
lastly before we go, Carlo, the second derby, it's December 6th, and you go into that thinking you've got to win, because it's unthinkable that you'd go 0-5, right? So what will the Phoenix do differently on December 6th to make sure you get your first New Zealand derby win?
Score more goals.
Good answer. Yeah. That's a great idea. Now, I can't believe Chiefy didn't think of that on Saturday night.
No, I think, honestly, like, all seriousness, if we just do what we've been doing probably the last 3 games, but obviously be disciplined with this high line, and hopefully we get a few boys back, because we have a few injuries. I think this international break will be good to get a few of the boys back. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because there's nothing better than playing in front of a massive away crowd. And yeah, full credit to their supporters. They get out and they pack that stadium. So I think they've only got the one derby this year, so it's probably going to be packed. And yeah, I can't wait. I love playing in front of away supporters. Hopefully I can score one and go celebrate with the port in front of them.